Yeah, but Ardoin did that nice. I mean, he left him a little bit of room in case he went in there. What Fogg needs to do is really be more committed. Stick that move in there. Whoa.
Speaking of committed, Scott Reddick committed into the tire barrier, unfortunately.
Yeah, and that is that entry to turn 3 where you just saw Fogg, try to make that move. You don't know whether he had contact. He is missing a rear wing there.
Getting over those tires is quite the challenge, too.
Yeah, you know what? This racetrack, it bites you so fast.
Fortunately, Scott's okay. Out of the competition, but able to walk away. So the safety car is out. First time this weekend we've seen that. And guess what? We've got a new leader, too. While we were watching that battle, things changed at the front. And Dempsey is our new race leader.
You know what? This will be one of the ones that they look back though and see did he make that pass? Before the caution came out. That Edwards is going to be on the radio wanting all that stuff checked out.
Well, there's some heavy damage to Reddick's car too.
Yeah, I don't know whether we're going to get to see this or not, but that his day is certainly over, and obviously he got in there into the tires with the back first.
Yeah, the right rear is all tweaked. The wing is gone, and I'm sure the nose doesn't look much better too, based on the fact that it's nosed into the tire barrier there.
Certainly not the way you want to end your race, but right now Dempsey at a familiar place up in the front, leading this pack.
So the field slows down, everybody catching their breath. And Dempsey is at the front of the field, and Edwards has to try to figure out a way now in that white and red number 7, how he's going to get back around. Let's go back and take a look at it and see how Dempsey took the lead away from Edwards.
All right. Whoa! Oh, I like this. He got the draft going up the hill into turn 8 and just really did a nice job pressuring Edwards. Both of them engaged in a little bit of a game of chicken right there. Dempsey was not to be denied. It's a long flight back to Ireland. He wanted to make it work. And you know what? As you see that shot, I certainly didn't see any yellow flags, so I'm guessing that pass is going to stick.
Absolutely. That was the key. As Reddick's car gets picked up and he gets to lift back to the pit, we'll go ahead and take care of some business here and get you back to Mosport in time to watch the race go back to green with a new leader, Peter Dempsey, out front.
Getting ready for the restart here, Ralph, and this is going to be really good because you got those first 4 or 5 guys really wanting to get those positions.
And really important because this is one of the opportunities where you can make a move on somebody as we come down to the front straightaway.
Dempsey pulls the trigger.
Boy, Edwards came right with him, though, didn't he?
Oh, he looked really good.
Hey, look at Miller. Here comes Miller on the inside of Edwards for second.
Oh, nicely done.
Boy, he's trying to squeeze it in
there.
Oh,
big
off his hole. Holy cow, that could have been disastrous.
Wow.
Oh, man.
You don't fall off and turn 1 off and then survive.
He was looking straight at that concrete wall.
Yeah, and you know what? He's off again in 3. Again, he obviously didn't do a good enough job keeping his tires warm and getting all the rubber off him.
There he is on the right, the Anderson car, the silver and black machine. And he's got issues as he's trying to deal with all these cars around him. Oh, contact!
Oh, no, and he's got a flat or something broke.
Suspension is shot on that car.
I don't know whether that was what the problem was for him. Yeah, now he's just hoping not to get run into. Whether that's what made him fall off in 1, he had a suspension failure, or it was the 4-wheeling that he did after.
Boy, has he had his hands full for about the last 6 corners, huh?
Just trying to survive, and I know he's got to be very frustrating, but, what we need to do is find out why, he fell off in turn 1. That's pretty much more or less game over for him right there. Great save, but, again, these cars can take a lot. Now, you see, this is turn 1. He gets into the corner, and you're going to see he's offline in the dirt. Everything looks fine, but now it's yippee-ki-yay, and I'm guessing that's where he did the damage.
Holy cow, Johnny. He was just headed straight for that concrete wall.
Yeah, there's some big hits going on there. Great save, But you know what? Again, that's man with Goshen when the suspension fails there. He definitely had his hands full.
He used up a lot of that lucky rabbit's foot right there, huh?
Well, and one of the things that people don't realize, unless you've been on the racetrack, you know, when you're under caution, your tires are cooling down, but they're picking up so much spent rubber. And, I mean, you can see it on his tires right there.
It's not even touching the ground.
Yeah, and you've got to scrub in order to make sure you've got grip going into that first corner. And I think that's one of those situations, as you see right there, that Dempsey has opened up a sizable gap to Miller. But I think one of those deals that really got, Hall got caught out, and we're full course caution again.
Yes, we are. Gladys had gotten around another car or two as well. In fact, he's moved himself in front of Edwards. So Edwards, the caution periods have not been good for him. He, in fact, as we watch Hall on pit lane, went from second to fourth.
This has got to be very frustrating for Hall. There we got another guy off.
That's Taylor Hackard, the 15 car.
Yes.
Look at all the smoke coming out of his motor.
That is something very rarely seen.
That's looking pretty terminal.
Yeah, they don't blow these cars up very often.
No, in fact, the reliability record of the Mazda engines in this series has been outstanding.
It really has. I mean, over the years, you might see one that might seem to fall off a little bit power-wise, but as far as somebody losing an engine, like I'm guessing that's what happened there, that's very rare.
Well, these guys have been pushing it incredibly hard, too. And you see Edwards in the 7 car all the way back to fourth in that red and white machine.
And that's a frustrating deal, Ralph, because, you get passed on a restart, okay, you get pushed offline, you gather up more junk on your tires, and then you're cannon fodder for everybody else coming up behind you.
It's just not going to get the job done quick enough, and we are on the last lap, no matter how fast that guy runs. Looks like they've pretty much given up, too.
Yeah, that's a frustrating deal. Hard to tell whether that's all online, and you got to, you don't know whether Taylor Hackard, knew he had a problem and just, but I mean, my goodness, he went all the way around the racetrack. And, just so you know, when you're in the cockpit of these cars, you have a oil pressure light, oil warning light. So, I don't know whether he was so involved in a battle that he didn't know what was going on with his car, but that's a frustrating deal. You get that warning light and an oil warning light, you know what? You trust them, and you have that moment. You look in your mirror, you see if you got a problem, and then you definitely get offline, out of courtesy to your competitors.
Well, things were so frenzied there at the beginning of that last restart that he might have been so busy just trying to keep from getting into other people with everything going on the way it was, might not have noticed. Peter Dempsey is going to win his 3rd race in a row.
Well, as he would say, his turd. And, I got to tell you, luck has a lot to do with it. And this young kid from Ireland, he's shown pace all season long, but these last 3 races, he's really come into himself and shown himself to right now be the most dominant, character in the series. Got a broom, anybody?
So here we go to the checkered flag. Dempsey wins it. His 3rd in a row.
And he's going to be stoked. Joel Miller, though, good result getting second. He made a really great move on Edwards there. And that's important championship points there. I mean, he's a young kid that realizes that. Well, but it's got to be frustrating for him having Dempsey be on fire the way he is.
And we're going to have a doubleheader coming up in New Jersey, then Road Atlanta and Laguna Seca. Mazda Raceway Laguna will wrap up the title. So we'll take a look at the points, and we'll talk to Peter Dempsey when we return to Mosport. To help you get there. Well, unfortunately, cleaning up the oil was just not going to be able to get done in time. Peter Dempsey wins his 3rd race of the year, 3 in a row, and this one under yellow.
Yeah, and I tell you, it always angers me when something like this happens, because this series is so exciting to watch. We got